Today, an average woman claims she deserves a high-earning, high-value man. Kevin Samuels breaks down the entitlement, the math, and the reality she's refusing to face.
The way I rank when I deal with image, I don't use sevens. Why? Because most people will try to rank themselves as a seven when they actually are a six. People tend not to want to claim six and they know they're not an eight. So, average for everybody is fours, fives, and sixes. That's the majority of the people walking the planet. So, on Facebook, I said, look, a 10, a straight up 10, classical beauty. Those women have the kind of beauty that a man, that high value men, that the top 1% of men can actually go after. And y'all know this. Y'all know this. Y'all know this is how this works. We're talking about women like Diane Carroll, Dorothy Dandridge, young Halle Berry. Knock it off. So if you're a 9, that means your beauty is very rare. That means men in the top 10% will go after you. If you're an 8, men in the top 20%, etc., etc. So for simple arguments, ladies, just look at it this way. For simple math, assume that you're in Dallas or have the cost of living of Dallas, Houston, Austin, Atlanta. Take whatever number you are. Let's say you are a 6. Multiply that times 10,000, and that's about the range of what the income of a man you can expect to kind of land. And that was problematic for some women. One woman actually said a 7 could only expect a man making $80,000. That's rough. And I had to step back and I was like, yeah, a 7 is just cute. But the nerve of this person to think that a woman in the top 30 or top 40% of the beauty standards should get a man who's making almost twice what the average American makes. The average person, middle class, makes $50,000 a year. So I asked, why should average women get above average earners? So this started going around and around and around and around. And unless you've been living under a rock, under a tree, you know, when I have people call in and ask the ladies, what do you want in a man? I have yet to have a woman say, hey, I'm just looking for a dude that's a 6 on attractiveness and making $50,000 a year. Every single woman wants a man in the top 10, even the top 5%. And what do you hear? You hear a lot of these women, to be generous, are not even close. When you are under 30 years old and over 200 pounds with no children, so no body weight. So you watch the show. So it begs the question. Shout out to Rebecca Lynn Pope, where she said she stopped being a matchmaker for women, for black women, because women had unrealistic standards when it came to dating, mating, and relationships. And I think that's justified. And as you hear women talk, like Rebecca Lynn Pope said, it's more like women want this list of characteristics, this list of qualities. And it's a specialized list that darn near no one can reach, and they're not even close to their own list. So let's take it. And then I ask women, well, do you want to get married? Why do you want to get married? And as it kind of gets right down to it, a lot of women, far too many women today just want a man, just want a man's money. Let's cut right to the chase. Just want a man's money. And see, that's where this conversation comes. I have no problem with sugar babies. I got no problem with sugar babies, escorts, or anything out like that. Like it says in the tagline, rise of the college, post-college, and middle-aged sugar baby. Fair exchange is no robbery, but are some women even in the ballpark of what it means to of what fair means when it comes to their assets? The word sugar is a homonym. It no longer solely refers to the grainy substance used for baking. These days, it's considered to be an adjective as well as a noun and used to describe young adults who refer to themselves as sugar babies. A sugar baby is a person who takes part in the act of sugaring, which I wholeheartedly support. In layman's terms, a sugar baby is someone involved in a relationship with an older, wealthier person known as a sugar daddy or sugar mama. And while the sugar baby supplies companionship, the sugar parent gives the money, trips, presents, among other benefits in exchange. And while this new definition of sugar may not be in Webster Dictionary just yet, the act of sugaring is on the rise, especially among college students, post-college grads, and middle-aged women. I'm going to tell you, it's not just around college women. It is fascinating to see the amount of women 26 and up, 26 to 40, who are sugaring or trying to sugar. I've shown profiles on my Tinder and on my Bumble how often you'll see these women talking about, I'm looking for a man of means, a mature gentleman. I'll just read it out. And the question is, here's the thing. I would, me myself, I prefer a sugar baby over a woman who's trying to finesse. See, this whole finesse culture, level up, secure the bag, a lot of women are failing to finesse. The title of this stream was going to be some different things. But we need to get it right down to it. High value men, ladies, are not your meal ticket. High value men are not your meal ticket. Stop trying to finesse Henry. Stop trying to finesse Henry. High earner, not rich yet. Brad Lee, Ahmed Keith, and Enrique. Stop trying to finesse Blake Henry. He's not your meal ticket. He didn't go out there and make himself successful just so you could come along and think you could decide to bat your eyes at him and wink at him and then all of a sudden get this man to pay your college loan debt and buy you a bunch of stuff just so you can decide to halfway break him off something. No, ma'am, no. See, at least a sugar baby is up front. A sugar baby is up front and will tell you, look, I am in this for the gifts and the benefits. The exchange is made up front. You negotiate everything up front, and everybody's on the same page. But with these finessing kind of sugar wives wannabes, sugar wife wannabes, they're very different. And look, I don't begrudge any woman for wanting a man with resources or means. It's just the way in which you're going about it. And honestly, some women would be better off just being sugar babies because you're not cut out to be a wife. You don't really want to be a helpmeet. You don't want to be supportive. You just want that money. And the question is, do you want a sugar baby? Do you want a sugar daddy? Or do you want a husband? And let's get into it. Let's see before we get into it. No, it's not gold diggers. Gold diggers are different. This is kind of finessing. Gold diggers outright will play themselves for gold. Gold diggers are all in. Finessers know what they're doing. That's that level up. Get him before he gets you. Finessers are outright manipulative. And see, that's the problem. It's the manipulative behavior. It's not the money. It's the fact you're trying to get over. That's one of the reasons why, shout out Alpha Male Strategies, why he was able to rise so quickly. Because he said, look, we're going to play these women back the way they're trying to play us. Eye for an eye. And a lot of guys were like, hell yeah. Because Henry is tired of you trying to finesse him. All right, we're going to open up the call lines in a minute. But before we do, some housekeeping. How many people have watched last night's show? If you watched last night's show, put a 1 in the chat room. If you watched last night's show, put a 1 in the chat room. And yes, the chat room is on slow mode. There's a lot of people in here. Fact of the matter is, some women are out here trying to sugar late 20s to mid 30s, and you aren't fine enough. The questions are, if you want to be a sugar baby, if you want to be out here as a sugar baby and you don't really want a husband, you got to know you got to understand where you rank. You got to know you cannot be a sugar baby and a 6. You got to at least be an 8. And I'm going to show you a bunch of women who are 5s and 6s who really believe they can sugar. Number 1, know your value. This is when a virtual consultation or somebody, see, far too many of you ladies have sat down and gave you yourself your value. This is why I came up with that eternal 7s. Why I don't use 7, because 7s are what's wrong with the dating world. You should have been married long ago because you're really a 6.9, but you actually round yourself up to 7. All the 8s, 9s, and 10s are gone. Then you get all these guys wanting to date you because all the 8s, 9s, and 10s are gone, and you're taking all the attention and free chips and everything else. You're not putting it out. You're getting a lot of men jaded. And look, and you don't get out of the game soon enough. You hang on too long. And there's always, well, this guy proposed to me, this guy proposed to me. And you're 40 years old and got nothing to show for it. What do you got to show at 40 years old, being as fine as you are, being proposed to, and got all them bags and purses and shoes? You got a bunch of stuff. Shout out to Harry. You got a bunch of bags and stuff, but nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. So if Henry is not a plaything, Henry's not a toy, it's not a game, what do? I got you covered. First off, ladies, you gotta understand how pretty you are to the average man. See, it's one thing to be pretty just to your group, your race. But if you are a straight up 8, 9, or 10, you have you have interracial dating ability. I'm going there. 8s, 9s, and 10s have interracial dating ability. The higher up you go, the more interracial dating ability you have. If you're an 8, you can cross over to men who are 8s from any race. 9, 10. 10s can go to basically anybody. Highest bidder. So, do you really know your number? 2, if you don't want to truly be a subservient wife, it would be better just to acknowledge that and say, I'm just not that person. That's not what I'm cut out for. I want much more of a business kind of relationship. Look, your godfather is cool with both of them. I told you, if I decide to get married, there will only be 2 ways it will be. It'll be with a younger woman where there's going to be at least 2 kids that's going to be had out of the marriage, or Nope. Or it could be an older woman where there are no kids on there, but it is straight up business relationship, friends or benefits. But I'm gonna have to be attracted to her. See what men, ladies, understand. Just like you don't want to be lied to, men don't want to be lied to either. Don't take a man's choice away. You hurt yourself. Stop being so short, ladies. Stop being so short term in your thinking. Stop thinking I'll just get over on this sucker right here for a free meal and a trip to the opera, and play the long game. Shout out to Obsidian when he came out with the dinner horror study. Stop playing the short game. Play the long game. But in order to play the long game, you have to have people skills. And I got to talk to black folks right now. We focus too much on the hard skills, the resume, the degrees, and this and that. But you don't focus on the soft skills, the interpersonal skills, making yourself likable by other people. And that is what will get you where you need to be in life. Gary Vee was talking about that just this morning. Stop focusing on certifications and degrees and all that. Start focusing on baking cookies in charity and the junior league and band booster and all that other kind of stuff. Yeah, ladies, trust your godfather. All right.
These men spent years grinding, sacrificing, building themselves into providers, and you expect to walk into their life just because you exist? You want the benefits of a high-value man without offering the qualities those men actually look for: femininity, cooperation, loyalty, peace, and fit lifestyle choices. Instead, you bring attitude, expectations, and a list of demands that don't match your reality. High earners have options, and they pick women who add to their life, not women who feel owed a lifestyle. You're not competing with the women in your neighborhood.